In the book, you also critique CPUSA for its inability to like fully grasp with the realities of settler colonialism, and that creating this vacuum along with state repression for the new left to come in, but the new left sort of had some eclecticism, so to speak.
Mhm.
Why do you think the old left, so to speak, was really unable to grasp with settler colonialism, class collaboration? And why was the new left eclectic about those matters, so to speak?
Well, with regard to the former, unraveling the United States is not easy because, number one, not only were there so many poor Europeans who crossed the Atlantic and did well, which creates a basis for opportunism, a basis for overlooking, believe it or not, genocide against Native Americans, for example. In my Texas book, I tell a story of how the Cherokees, who once controlled the southeast quadrant of North America, the state of Georgia and North Carolina, for example, that they sought to assimilate, including Christianity, including sedentary agriculture, including enslaving Africans. But they still had to go, oftentimes swept out of their mansions, and with Europeans, poor Europeans, oftentimes moving into their mansions, just sweeping the floor and taking over. And then, of course, after the US Civil War, you have the construction of these land grant universities that are still with us, particularly in the Midwest, where the sons and daughters of settlers were able to get education. The sons and daughters of settlers were the professors and the administrative staff. My ancestors were not allowed. And I think that those sorts of emoluments create a material basis for a certain kind of opportunism, for example. And then there's the further problem, which I mentioned in another interview the other day, which is that we depend upon various comrades and various nations to give their analysis of the history of their country. So therefore, understandably, we depend upon the Cubans to give us an analysis of the Cuban Revolution, the importance of 1959, et cetera. And I think that many in the international community were dependent upon US analyses for analyses of the United States of America. But the problem was that the analyses of the United States of America, in my opinion, were not altogether penetrating. And so it reminds me of